Hello everyone. Let's do a little bit of grammar today. I know that grammar is a very difficult topic for many people, but we need to realize that once we get the hang of it, it becomes really simple. So we look at a few topics. Let's start with verbs. What is a verb, or what do you understand by verbs? So verbs are actually words that are used to express an action, a state of being, or sometimes they can act as helpers. Verbs that show a state of action are called action verbs, whereas verbs that show a state of being are called linking verbs, and verbs that either help an action verb or a linking verb are called helping verbs. There is another word that is used for helping verbs, it's called an auxiliary verb. See, look at this sentence. I went to Delhi. The verb in this sentence is went, right? And it shows an action, the action of somebody going somewhere. So this is an action verb because it denotes an action. Whereas in the second sentence, I am happy, this shows a state of being. The verb am shows a state of being. What are you? What do you feel like? So you say, I am happy. So it's a linking verb. Whereas in the third sentence, I will write a story. In this particular sentence, we have two verbs. Write is the action verb because it denotes the action of writing. Whereas will is a helping verb because it is helping this particular verb, right, to complete the sentence or complete the essence of the sentence. So, action verbs and linking verbs are called main verbs, whereas we have auxiliary verbs also. So, when we define verbs or when we divide verbs, we can say that we can classify verbs into main verbs and helping verbs or auxiliary verbs. So, main verbs are action verbs and linking verbs. Action verbs show us something that we do, it shows an action, whereas linking verb shows a state of being, right? And we also have verbs which help the main verbs to show the essence of the complete sentence. Now, what do you mean by an auxiliary verb? As I told you earlier, an auxiliary verb is a helping verb. So, there are three verbs in English which would function both as auxiliary verbs and also as main verbs or primary verbs. Main verbs can also be called primary verbs. So, there are three verbs in English. Which are the three verbs? They are be, have, and do. These three verbs function both as main verbs and also as auxiliary verbs. So they are called as primary auxiliaries. Primary means main and auxiliary means helping, right? So we have three verbs in English: be, have, and do, which are called primary auxiliaries. Now look at this particular sentence, the first sentence, I am happy. In that, we have the form of be, the form of be, that is am, that is used here. So we have different forms for be, right? We have is, am, was, were, etc. So in this particular sentence, I am happy, am is the main verb. It is a form of be. Whereas in the second sentence, I am writing a letter, am is used as an auxiliary verb, right? It is helping the main verb writing to complete the essence of the sentence. So we see how be can be used both as a main verb and also as an auxiliary verb. Look at the third sentence. I have a red car. In that particular sentence, have is used as a main verb. Whereas in the following sentence, I have done my homework, have is used as an auxiliary verb because it helps the main verb done to complete the essence of the sentence. In this particular sentence, please do the work neatly. Do is used as a main verb, right? It shows action, right? Doing something. Please do your work neatly. Whereas in the last sentence, do you eat meat? Do is used as an auxiliary verb because it is helping the main verb eat to complete the essence of the sentence. So here we see that the three verbs in English, be, have, and do. They are the only verbs in English which can act both as primary verbs and also as auxiliary verbs. We see how they are used. So the primary auxiliaries in English are be, have, do. There are no other verbs in English which can act both as main verbs and also as helping verbs. There are only three verbs. Always remember three primary auxiliaries in English: be, have, do. Other than primary auxiliaries, we also have other helping verbs which are called modals or modal auxiliaries. Now look at this list which I have prepared here. See, we see these modal auxiliaries or the modals marked in italics, and they're also in green color. And the rest of the primary auxiliaries are in red. So these are the different forms of be, have, and do. See, be, you have a form called is for be, right? He is happy. He is writing a letter. She is going to Delhi. Am, I am writing a story, right? Are, we are going to play. Was, he was eating his dinner when I met him. Were, they were running a race, right? Being can be used. Being is another form, right? You have been, he has been here, right? Has. So has can be used both as main verb and also as a uh, auxiliary verb. So we say he has a black cat as a pet, right? You also can say he has written a letter to his mother, right? Having, have, had. These are all forms of be, have, and do. Does, do, did. So the primary auxiliaries have different forms which we can use in different sentences, whereas these words in green in italics are the modals. Now, what are modals? I'll tell you. Now, modals are also called modal verbs. They are called modal auxiliaries. They are called modal auxiliary verbs. They are special verbs in English which behave quite differently. I would say behave irregularly, right? So they are different from the main verbs that we see. We have different verbs in English like jump, eat, read, go, etc. Now, modal auxiliaries are different from these. They are not like the main verbs. They are different. They are quite irregular, right? So they give additional information about the function of the main verb that follows it. So when you say, I can write. So what is the modal auxiliary telling us? The modal auxiliary is can. It is giving you more information about the main verb. What is the main verb in that particular sentence that I mentioned? I can write. Write is a main verb. So can gives you the impression that you can do something, right? You have the ability to do something. So that is what I mean by giving additional information about the function of the main verb that follows it. So you cannot add any of these forms. Like, when we say go, we can say goes. We can say going, right? We can add s, ing. We can also say study. You add ed to make the past tense. So it becomes studied, ed. But for the modal verbs or the modal auxiliaries or for the modals, we cannot add any of these forms, right? For will, it's always will. You cannot say willed, right? You cannot say will. See, that cannot be used as a verb, right? And they're always followed by a bare infinitive, right? So they're always followed by a bare infinitive. What's a bare infinitive? It's a base form of the verb. Base form of the verb means, like a verb you have eat. Like suppose you take a verb like run. So that's a base form. And from that base form, you create different forms like runs, running, ran, etc. Right? But when we use modals, we always need to remember that modals are followed by only the bare infinitive or the base form of the verb. Now, what are modals actually used for? Modals are used to express different functions like permission, ability, obligation, prohibition, lack of necessity, advice, possibility, probability, strong belief, request, offer, etc. So these are some of the emotions or these are some of the functions that models would display or models would be used to express. Now, look at the frequently used models. I've given a few examples. Now look at the model must. Now, must shows strong obligation. It shows logical conclusion, certainty. Look at this, the examples that I've given. Strong obligation. You must stop when the traffic lights turn red. That is obligation. You have to stop. You must. Right? So, must is the model, and you have the main verb stop that follows it. Here, you must be very tired. Must followed by be, right? So it shows certainty, logical conclusion. Why is it logical conclusion? He must be very tired because he's been working all day. So it's a logical conclusion, right? Feeling tired after working the entire day. Now, must not shows prohibition. You must not smoke in the hospital, right? You must not cross the road when the traffic light is green. It shows prohibition. It prohibits you from doing something. Can shows ability, can shows permission, can also shows possibility. See, when you say, I can swim, it means you're showing your ability. That is a function the model displays, right? Can I go home, please, is permission. You're asking permission to someone. And possibility is like when you say, eating too many sweets can cause tooth decay. So it's not sure, but there's a possibility that if you eat too many sweets, your tooth or your teeth can become bad. Now, could can be used to show ability in the past, polite permission, possibility. Look at the sentences. When I was younger, I could run fast. Ability in the past, right? That means when you were younger, you could run fast. Polite permission. Excuse me, could I just say something? That's very polite. You're asking permission very politely. Possibility, it could rain tomorrow. Now, may can be used to show permission. May I go home? Right? It also shows possibility and probability. You say it may rain, it might rain. So there are these models where the functions get interchanged also. It's not necessary that only may shows permission, right? Permission can be also used when we use can. Permission can also be denoted when we use can, right? So the functions would maybe overlap over the different models. Might is again used for polite permission, possibility and probability. Might I suggest an idea? Very polite, right? I might go on a holiday to Australia next year. It's a possibility, it's also a probability, right? Now, need not. It shows lack of necessity, absence of obligation. See, I need not buy tomatoes. There are plenty of tomatoes in the fridge. Because there are plenty of tomatoes at home, I need not buy tomatoes, right? Ought shows advice, logical conclusion. You should or you ought to revise your lessons daily, right? Logical conclusion, he should be tired, he ought to be tired because he's been working the entire day. It's a logical conclusion. Should is used to denote advice. You should drive carefully. It's an advice. You should not do this. You should make sure that you do not jump into the pool without wearing your proper swimming gear. Obligation. You should look after your parents well. You should study hard because otherwise you will fail in the examination. Had better shows advice. You had better revise your lessons. It's an advice, right? So you can use the contracted form of you had. You'd better revise your lessons. Will shows wish, request, demand, order, less polite than would, right? Will you please shut the door? When I say, would you please shut the door? It's polite. It's more polite. Whereas when you say, will you please shut the door? It's an order. It's not that polite, but it's polite, but not very polite, right? It shows prediction, assumption. When you say, I think it will rain on Friday. What you mean is, it could. There is a possibility, right? It shows a promise. I will stop smoking, right? I will quit drinking. So it's a promise. Would is used to show wish, request. It's more polite, right? Would you please shut the door? That's what I was telling you earlier. And it also shows about past habits, right? I say, earlier he would bring me flowers. So it's something that used to happen in the past. It's a past habit. So here we see how models and um, main verbs are used in English, right? So, main verbs are those verbs which are used to denote a state of being, a state of action, or sometimes they're used as helping verbs. Whereas modals are just helping verbs. We have three verbs in English which can be used both as modals and also as auxiliary verbs and also as primary verbs. They are called the primary auxiliaries and they are be, have, do. And we also have modal auxiliaries which can be only followed by a bare infinitive or the base form of the verb. So I hope this lesson on verbs has given you a basic idea of what a verb in English is. Thank you very much.